probably like, oh my God, where you been? You haven't done a video in so long. It's definitely been a while since I've done a video. And I definitely got to get back to doing my videos. I really enjoy connecting with you guys, and I know you guys enjoy connecting with me. Thank you for all the people who still reach out and like, hey, I'm waiting to hear something from you. I really appreciate you guys. I definitely appreciate the love. So keep that up. And I promise you I'm coming back. I promise. I've been working on some really big things, and I'm so excited that I can finally talk about it. These things have been in the works for months, and I've kind of just been keeping it under wrap until I had everything kind of coming together. And now that everything is coming together, I'm so excited that I'll be able to share that with you really soon. So stay tuned. But that's not why I'm here today. I am here today because I just want to talk a little bit about marriage. I want to talk a little bit about relationship. So I was listening to 100.9 this morning, and Erica Campbell asked Isaac Curry a very important question, and I feel like Isaac couldn't have given a better response. I think the question was, for the people who are in marriages and they are struggling to know if they need to leave or to stay, what advice would you give them? And what he said was that sometimes divorce happens, and which it does. It doesn't make you a bad person if you just couldn't make it work. Like, I think that if we marry our soulmate, then it's not always going to be easy, but it's work. And if you're willing to put the work in, then it can definitely happen. And that's exactly what he said. You have to wake up every single day, and you have to make the conscious decision that you're going to put in the work that's necessary. And guys, listen, that thing, I was just like, yes, that was the best response ever. Because I feel like so many times in marriages, people give up, and they give up because they're just not willing to work. Like, they're just not willing to do what they need to do. And I hear so many times people saying, I'm praying and I'm believing God and I'm trusting God and I'm praying about my marriage. But if you're not putting in the work that's necessary for your marriage to work, then your prayers are in vain. Like, it doesn't matter if you're praying to God if you're not willing to make the necessary change that needs to happen in order for you to put in the work. And I want to go a step further and say that putting in work, being married and putting in work, requires maturity. And I say that because whenever you think about children, you think about toddlers, you think about young people, and when they want something and they don't get it, what do? They get mad, they pout, they get angry, they walk away, they just forget it. I don't even want it that bad anymore. Like, it wasn't even worth it. And when you think about people in marriages and people who choose not to work, people who choose not to put in the work, people who choose not to consciously wake up every single day and say, today I choose to do right by my marriage. Today I choose to make choices and decisions that are going to impact my marriage and not hinder it. Like, if you can't wake up with that kind of mindset towards your marriage every day, then you may not be mature enough to be married anyway. I mean, like, let's just be real about it. It requires maturity, and not just maturity. It requires you to be intentional about the things that you're doing and the choices that you're making. You've got to be intentional. You can't, listen, marriage is hard enough on its own, but one person trying to work and make a marriage work, that's not enough. You need two people who are willing to say, I want my marriage to work, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes in order for that to happen. And when you and your spouse can collectively come together and be on the same page about that common goal, then you'll be able to reach the finish line. Now, am I saying that marriage is going to get easy? I don't believe it ever gets easy. I've been married for 11 years, and I ain't had an easy day yet. Let me just say, I haven't had an easy day yet. But marriage is beneficial, and it's so worth it when you're married to the right person, and when you both are willing to do what's necessary in order for your marriage to prosper. There are levels to marriage. You can always be at that lower level where you guys are just barely making it, where you guys are just getting by. Oh, he's my husband, I'm his wife, whatever. But when you choose to be partners, when you make the decision to say, I don't want to just be your partner, I want to be your friend. Like, I want us to set goals that we're going to attain. We're going to do ministry together. Like, when you get get that kind of attitude about your marriage, the devil is going to come. But when you've got two people who are willing to put in the work, two people who are willing to do what's necessary in order for your marriage to transpire, in order for greatness to come out of your marriage, then it does. Your walk, it doesn't get easy, but it becomes better because you're walking hand in hand and you're walking side by side, and he's looking out for you and you're looking out for him. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Marriage is partnership more than anything else. It's not a 50-50 kind of deal, because there are going to be times when you're giving and he's taking and vice versa, but it's balance. And that's so important. Oh my God, I got so much to say about balance, but not today. That's not the topic today. But marriage is balance, and you've got to be in that place. You've got to be in that position, and you and your spouse have to be on the same page with the same common goal that we're going to do whatever it takes to make our marriage work. So I am here today to say, be intentional. Be intentional. Wake up every single day and make that conscious decision that you are going to do the work. And everybody's marriage isn't going through. So maybe your marriage isn't going through. Maybe you feel like everything is fine and everything is all good and we're good. We don't need to do nothing. But let me tell you, you never want to stop being intentional in your marriage. You never want to stop working towards another goal in your marriage. That's just like our spiritual life. We never want to get to the point where we feel like, oh, we're just so saved. We don't need to grow. Who needs to grow? We don't need to grow. We don't need to go to that next level that God is calling us to. We're comfortable here. We're complacent here. That is one of the worst things that you can ever do for your marriage. Never become comfortable. Never become complacent. Always be intentional. Always be conscious of what you're going to do. Walk out of here today knowing that you're going to be intentional about making your marriage better. You're going to be conscious about every single day doing the necessary work that it takes in order for you and your spouse to become one, as God has designed and God has created you to be. I know this video is a little bit longer than my normal videos. I didn't mean to say all of that, but I meant to say all of that. Guys, it's time for us to be intentional, and it's time for us to be conscious about our marriage. We've got to view our marriages as God views marriage. It's so important and it's so necessary. It's a ministry, and it's our first ministry. And we've got to make sure that in everything that we're doing, we are pleasing God. And in order for us to please God, we've got to be making sure that we're being intentional and conscious, even in our marriage, because that's a way that we please God. I am Sharon Tillman. Guys, please stay tuned. I've got so much more to come.